أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ramadan with the Holy Quran 30 Lessons in 30 Days podcast. In this podcast, we shall talk about 30 lessons, a comprehensive guide throughout the holy month of Ramadan to give you a gist of the great religion of Islam and its teachings produced from the words of the Holy Quran and exegesis, as well as points from traditions and narrations from the divine purified household. This is your host Suhail Saleh. This is the 5th episode of Ramadan with the Holy Quran 30 Lessons in 30 Days podcast. Lesson 5, Supplication. The Importance of Supplication. The sentence, "My Lord esteems you not at all were it not for your supplication," indicates that the Lord does not hold for a group of people any value due to their past actions, had they not been under the shadow of their supplication and worship. Of course, with regards to the words your supplication, there are two meanings. One is supplication and crying with special attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such as in the narration when we read, "A person of supplication is a person who will not perish." So from a group of people who are not of those who supplicated, the complaint will be that instead of supplication you opted to go towards idols, desires and tyrants, and so retribution will be seen. And one where the meaning is the invitation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the people, because His divine tradition is one that invites people to the truth and complete proof over them. What makes one better presence and of more value is the very acceptance of the invitation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet you did not accept the invitation and belied it. So hope of good in you is non-existent, and retribution for your actions will be delivered. In one place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in the Holy Quran, "I have not created jinn and mankind except to serve me." Surah Dhariyat, verse 56. And when combined with the ayat above, the verse above, that had not it been for your supplication, you would not have had any value. It is apparent that your supplication is the heart and soul of worship. Yes, even with the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all-knowing of everything, yet supplication remains our duty. Supplication in every place and at every moment is beneficial. This is because Allah states, "I am near." Surah Al-Baqarah verse 186. So if we are sometimes recipient of the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is because the distance we have placed between ourselves and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the effect of sin. The attention of Allah to those who supplicate. "And when my servants question thee concerning me, I am near to answer the call of the caller when he calls to me. So let them respond to me and let them believe in me happily, so they will go right." Surah Al-Baqarah verse 186. Supplication is the reason for so much affection from the Lord that it is this verse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the first person pronoun 7 times. This affection occurs in the instance where the person wants to seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through supplication. Question: why is it sometimes our supplications are not answered? Answer: in Al-Mizan, an exegesis of Holy Quran, we read that in this verse Allah states, "I answer the call of the caller when he calls to me." Al-Baqarah 186. Allah will answer the call of the caller that only calls upon Him with complete sincerity and requests good. So if the supplication has not been answered, it is either because of our request from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not for the better and in reality would have been worse for us, or if it was in reality for the better of us, we did not request frankly and with complete sincerity where it was contaminated with an appeal to others. Or it could be that the answering of supplication would not lead to a benefit, such as that stated in narration in cases in we are protected from calamity, or future generations are protected, or compensation is granted in the hereafter. In Usul Kafi, we read that the one who consumes what is unlawful and does not enjoin good and forbid evil, and who supplicates without attention of presence of heart, the supplications are not answered. The meaning of supplication is not to live earning a living and work, but rather reliance upon Allah along with effort. That's why in the narrations we read, supplication without effort will not be answered. Maybe the placement of ayah of supplication is amongst ayahs or verses relating to fasting is due to it being more appropriate that in the month of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be spent along with supplication. Question: given that the work of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fixed based upon law and based upon deed and traditions, what role does supplication play? Answer: just as the rules relating to prayers and fast of a traveler are different to that of one another, one who is in their own residence, one who supplicates is different to one who is negligent of Allah, and the tradition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefits the former, not the latter. Yes, supplications and conversations with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase the capacity of one to be able to accept the beneficence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, the invocations and the visitation of viziers, Al-Wilayah of Allah changes the condition that one is in. Just like if a father takes along his child as a guest, the host will accept them with more love and affection than if they went alone. So supplication, visitation and invocation is reason for changing of the conditions of someone, not the disruption of absolute divine tradition. The etiquette of supplication. Supplications have etiquettes and conditions that need to be met, including 1. Supplication must be with faith and deed. 2. With sincerity. 3. With humbleness and in secret. 4. With fear and hope. 5. During some special hours, the one who is supplicating should benefit from the heavenly divine names. Of course, we must bring to attention that some of our deeds such as sin and oppression and not forgiving those who have sought forgiveness for us are a barrier to the answering of supplication, or sometimes the answering of supplication means the break in the need to the world order of creation. Like example of the student that answered a geography question incorrectly, that the surface of the sea is higher than that of the mountain top. The student requested from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the two be swept. Anyway, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being all able and wise, the answer of this supplication is two-sided. That means that if people are awaiting the answering of their supplication, they also need to answer and accept the invitation of Allah so that the supplication can be answered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The beautiful names. Although all the divine names and attributes are beautiful and good, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has all the perfection which cannot be comprehended and counted, in the narrations we have 99 names which have been emphasized, and anyone who calls upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with these names will have their supplications answered. In the Quran, up to 145 names of Allah are noted and 99 names in the narration. Either because some of these names can be combined and are practically applied to be the same as each other, or it could mean that the names of Allah are not limited to a number. In some narrations and supplications, there are even more names that have been noted, like the supplication of Jawshan Kabir. Of course, some of the divine beautiful names have special effects, blessings, and importance. Imam Rida alayhi salam states, "We, the purified household, are the beautiful names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for which the deed of none will be accepted without comprehending us." He also stated, anytime you come across problems and hardship, invoke help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, though us as a medium, and then recited, to God belong the names most beautiful, so call him by them. Surah Al-A'raf verse 180. It also has been narrated from him that he stated, the Creator cannot be described except with how he described himself. That means we cannot ascribe names to Allah of our own, such as calling him chaste, brave, and the like. And here we come to an end of the 5th episode of Ramadan with the Holy Quran, 30 lessons in 30 days. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.